Hey everybody, sorry we are going live on Instagram and Facebook at the same time, and I've never done this before. It's a little nerve-wracking but a little bit fun. My mom is behind the camera. I'm super happy she's been here helping me cook, and she has hosted Thanksgiving. So all growing up we have a huge family, and she would host it at our house, and I mean we always had at least like 30 to 50 people at least for Thanksgiving every year. We would have like 2 turkeys, a ham, and like 100 pies. It was awesome, but she has made 1 million turkeys in her lifetime. So between the two of us, I feel like we have a lot of experience, and we're kind of no nonsense turkey people. There's like so many different ways to do a Thanksgiving turkey, but a lot of them are kind of intense, at least I think so. Like especially the method where you cook it upside down, which I think is a good idea because the juices run down from the turkey and keep the white meat really moist. But then you have to like flip over a hot turkey, and you can brine your turkey, you can baste your turkey. There's a lot of different ways to do it, but this is like the simplest, foolproof way to do it that will still yield like a gorgeously brown, juicy, yummy turkey. So let's go ahead and get started. A few common questions, and I have a whole post on my website. It's called Easy Thanksgiving Turkey, and I detail a lot of this stuff too. So you can refer back to that post, and it has a lot of the same information. And if you have questions, feel free to ask questions throughout the live. I may not get to your question and I may not stop to answer it, but I will answer every single question after the live in the comments. Okay, so lots of people wonder how big of a turkey you should buy. And I think a good general rule, if you like leftovers, because those are the best part of Thanksgiving, is about 1.5 pounds per person. So if you're having 6 people at your Thanksgiving party, you want to buy about a 10-pound turkey. And then the most important thing, like literally the most important thing, is to make sure you thaw your turkey on time. So today is probably, if you have a pretty good sized turkey, today's probably a good day to take it out of your freezer, or if you're buying it from the store frozen, to get it in the fridge and start thawing it. I think the general rule is like 1 day for every 5 pounds of turkey that it takes to thaw in the fridge. But it's okay if you forget, and you don't need to freak out, because there's another way, and it's kind of more of a pain, I think, than just letting it sit in your fridge. But you can fill up your sink with an ice water bath, and you can put the turkey in the cold water and let it thaw that way, and that's going to be faster than the fridge. That should just take a few hours, right? So if you're down to the wire and your turkey's still a little bit frozen, you can do your cold water bath. It needs to be in cold water because it still has to maintain a cold temperature to keep it safe for bacteria and everything else. Okay, so brining turkey. If you look online, you'll probably see 1 million different opinions about brining turkey. The truth is about brining turkey, unless it's like a wild turkey or like super organic and or somebody caught it or something, that might be a good time to brine the turkey, because brining the turkey adds flavor and helps to keep the meat really moist. But if you're just buying like a butterball turkey or like Norbest or just a good brand from the store, usually they're pre-brined, so you don't need to worry about brining your turkey. So all I do is I take it out of my fridge, I make sure it's thawed, and I take it out of my fridge at least an hour before I want to put it in the oven. That gives it time to come down to room temperature, which you really want. You don't want to stick a cold turkey in the oven. It's just going to take way longer to cook. It's not going to cook evenly. So yeah, make sure, that's really important, to make sure that you give it some time to rest on your counter in the packaging before you are ready to prepare it. So this turkey, I just barely took it out of the bag, and I just patted it dry with paper towels. Another thing that I think is kind of an old school train of thought is that you need to wash your turkey in the sink. Don't do that. That's just going to contaminate your sink, and you really don't need to do it, because any bacteria that could be in your turkey is going to be killed in the oven when it roasts. So all you need to do is just pat it dry all over inside the cavity and with paper towels, and that's it. So if this is your first time doing turkey, I want to know, or if you're hosting this year, comment, let me know. And I want to know how many people you're hosting, if this is your first time, or if you're an expert, or if you're going to try a different method this year, or if you don't do turkey and you do something else. I'd love to hear it. So leave me some comments. I would love to hear what you guys do. Okay, so when you open up your turkey, definitely check where the neck would, the neck here and the cavity here, because they're usually going to have the neck of the turkey is usually stuffed inside the bigger cavity. And then in the smaller cavity is usually this bag of, I always call them giblets. Is it giblets or giblets? I had this debate with somebody the other day. Do you call them giblets or giblets? Anyways, I call them giblets, but the bag's usually gonna be in one side and the neck in the other. And if you really want some good gravy, you're gonna make a giblet gravy with these, so you wanna save them and we'll boil them later. And I'm gonna have a tutorial coming out for gravy, hopefully on Friday, to show you if you wanna make giblet gravy with the drippings from your pan after you cook your turkey. It's delicious. So just set those aside, or if you don't wanna do it, you can throw them in the garbage. Okay, so the first thing we wanna do is pat it dry, and then I like to stick my hands underneath. So here's the breast right here, the breast meat, can you see that? I stick my hands underneath and just loosen up the skin, and you can kind of be tough with it. It's really tough skin. And I get my fingers under there. Can you see that at all? My fingers underneath the skin. So you can kind of pull the skin away from the turkey meat. And so this is why I don't even bother basting my turkey, even though a lot of people baste their turkey throughout the cooking process. The problem with that is that you're opening the oven a lot, so it's letting air out, hot air out, and then your turkey will just take longer to cook. And the biggest thing you want to avoid with a turkey is a dry turkey. The longer you cook it, the more likely you are to dry it out. So instead of basting, we stuff an herb butter mixture inside the skin down here, and then we cover the whole turkey in the herb butter mixture too. So that way you get the butter underneath to keep it nice and moist and flavorful, and then the butter on the outside is gonna make it really golden brown and beautiful. So just take this herb butter and you can spoon it just right inside the turkey, and you can even just smooth it in like this on the outside to make sure you just get a good scoop in there. Let's see. Yeah, just get a good glob in there. That looks awesome. Okay, with the rest of this herb butter, I stick it in the microwave just for a few seconds to warm it up a little, so it's easier to put all over the turkey. Okay, roasting pans, that's another thing. I don't even own a roasting pan. I'm a food blogger, right? I should own like a fancy roasting pan. And maybe I would, but I feel like we're doing Thanksgiving in a different place every year, so I haven't wasted money on one. Look how great that butter looks. I just put it in the microwave for like 10 seconds. Anyway, so a roasting pan, I always just buy an aluminum pan, because who wants to clean a horrible, messy metal roasting pan after Thanksgiving dinner? I don't. I just buy an aluminum dollar pan from Walmart, and it doesn't have a rack in it, so I fill the bottom of it with vegetables, so that way the turkey is elevated and you don't need the rack. It just sits right on top of your vegetables. We put onion, celery, and carrots. Oh, here, let's see. Onion, celery, carrots. Yeah, so just whatever you have in your fridge, just chop it up really roughly and throw it in. It flavors the broth for the gravy, the drippings afterwards. It helps flavor those, so it's super yummy. And then you can just throw this whole thing in the garbage after Thanksgiving. You don't have to wash it or worry about it. So that's usually what I do. So we're just gonna put our turkey right on here. And see these wings poking up? I like to tuck them under the turkey because it helps it sit flatter, and then it also, your wings won't get burnt while they're cooking. So, but I'm gonna rub it in this herb butter really quickly. I mean, look how good that looks. Can you even see this? This is so yummy. So just get it everywhere. Oh, I should have, kind of going out of order, I guess. That's what happens when you do a live story. There's so much pressure. I usually stuff the cavity of the bird first, but we can do it in just a minute. Oh my gosh, I wish you guys could smell this. This smells so good. So this is just butter, garlic, salt and pepper, thyme, rosemary, and sage. Fresh herbs just chopped up, if you can see that. We just smooth it all over the bird. It looks so good. Okay, so inside, tell me in the comments if you stuff your bird or if you cook your stuffing separately. We love stuffing, but I guess it's called dressing if you don't cook it in the bird, but I still call it stuffing. I never cook stuffing in the turkey because stuffing, by the time you get it to a safe temperature to eat, because your stuffing needs to be at a safe temperature to eat, your turkey's most likely going to be overcooked. So that's another way to dry out your turkey, so we're going to avoid that. And so what we do is we stuff lemon, and you can get creative with this, but what I had in the fridge, I had apples, you can use red or green, onions and lemon, and I just love the way those complement with the herbs, the flavors of the herbs, and it's just kind of a subtle, yummy flavor. So I just quartered these, like chop it up. You don't need to be fancy. You're not going to be eating them. They are just for flavor. They'll flavor the bird, the drippings. So stuff those in, stuff some onion in, an apple. And then I always just buy from the store these like 1/2 ounce or 0.75 ounce containers of herbs. So sage, rosemary, and thyme. Those are the 3 that we use. So I chop a bunch up for the herb butter. And then whatever I don't use, I just stuff inside the bird too, because it adds really great flavor. So you can just stuff everything right inside. I guess I should show what I'm doing, huh? I'm doing it this way, but yeah, just stuff everything right inside there. And that's it. So we tuck the wings underneath. So here's the wing, if you can see that. I just tuck it, just pull it down. Sorry, this way. Pull it down and tuck it underneath the bird. And then the tips won't get browned, and it kind of helps your bird sit more evenly and flat. That's it. Like, so easy, you guys. So we're gonna roast it in the oven. You wanna make sure that your oven rack is kind of down low because you want your turkey to be sitting right in the middle of the oven. So adjust your oven rack so your turkey's sitting in the center of the oven, and then we're gonna cook it at 325 for 13 to 15 minutes per pound of turkey. So you really want to use a thermometer, and the safe cooking time zone for a turkey is 165 degrees, but don't cook it to 165 degrees because when you take it out of the oven, we're going to tent it with foil and let it rest and keep warm, and it will continue cooking at least another 5 to 10 degrees. So I always take mine out around 155 degrees or 160 degrees at the highest, and then it will continue to cook as it rests. And you really want to let it rest. That's like a very important part for a juicy turkey as well. I mean, and it gives you time too. If you need the oven space for something else, let your turkey rest on the counter for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and you can cook something else in the meantime before you're ready to serve your turkey. And that just helps all of the juices go back into the meat of the turkey. If you cut right into it, the juices are all going to spill out and you're going to have a tougher turkey.
Somebody's wondering what brand turkey you bought.
So I buy a Butterball turkey or a Norbest turkey. Those are my 2 favorites.
And someone's wondering about if you put fruit in, like an apple, does that make it sweet, or why wouldn't you just keep it savory?
It's up to you. I didn't have a green apple, is the truth. I usually put a green apple because it's just kind of tart and it's juicy and it balances out the flavors of the onion and the herbs. But whatever flavor blend you like. I also really like lemon zest, or one thing I forgot to add too is to salt and pepper the inside of the cavity of the turkey. If you can hold it up and have somebody help you, just salt and pepper the inside of the cavity is a good idea too. But we put the salt and pepper in the herb butter. And are there any other questions? If you have any other questions, add them on the feed and I will answer them. I would love to hear if you're going to make this for Thanksgiving. I would love to see a picture. And thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it.